Howdy, boys and girls. Don't ask me what week it is. It's National Championship Week, and that's why we are back on the Carla and Crappy Show. Carla, how you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you? You survived Bullapalooza?
I have survived Bullapalooza. I've survived the flu, mostly. I've survived the Sugar Bowl, and I am looking forward to one more game, as you might imagine. We seem to be we're being joined by someone who's got a piece of paper from the University of Oregon. This is an interesting thing. Kim, how you doing?
Hi. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Guys, this is a Draft Day Suit managing editor, Kimberly Daboo, and she's going to be our resident Oregon Ducks expert tonight.
Yeah.
Or something.
I'm your resident duck.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's get it there.
Of course, we're taping this the week before, so we've got about a week before the national championship game, which plays out on Monday in the Jerry Dome in the greater metropolitan Dallas area, wherever the hell it is. I don't have a whole lot of lead into this, and actually I was going to kind of let Carla sort of take the lead on this show since we have a buck and a duck. I will, as I generally do, I will state that Oregon, for the record, is a 6-point favorite at this point. And man, it's going to be fun. Carla, if you have questions or initial thoughts, we're gonna let you go right ahead.
Oh dear. Okay. This is and I went back and I counted. We've done 38 of these things. So in our 38th episode, you finally let me play moderator, and I am terrified.
No, it's easy. You just talk. It's just it's not a big deal.
I'm much better playing analyst than moderator. No. I guess first of all, since both of you watched your respective bowl games heading into this, I guess my first question that I would pose is. What were your thoughts of the first ever playoff? I know when we did Bullapalooza, Crappy, we talked about that was the first question you posed us was does Ohio State need to be there? We all kind of said no, and then your Buckeyes.
All of you said shut up. By the way.
Yeah. I'll go tell the two Athlon guys that. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
That's not a problem.
Yeah, do that.
But no, I'm just kind of curious as to well, Crappy, I kind of saw your story playing out on Twitter. As you were watching that game, but I'd also be interested in hearing Kim's take on watching the Rose Bowl. So I don't know, Crappy, you want to go first?
Sure. The thing about whether or not Ohio State belongs is still probably an unanswered question. Baylor kind of pooped the bed in their bowl game, which delighted me to no end. At TCU, however, very, very clearly looked like one of the top 4 teams in the country, and maybe as things played out, and Florida State got their butts handed to them in the third quarter and looked disinterested in the fourth. Maybe TCU would have been a better choice for that one. It's difficult to say. I am, as you might imagine, I am pleased with the number, with the 4. You can increase this to whatever number you want. There's always going to be someone who's pissed off after the selection.
Yeah.
Look at college basketball. You've got what is it? 80, 90 teams in the tournament now.
68 last I checked. Yeah.
And the very first thing that we talk about after the selection show is we run and talk to the coaches who are the bubble teams who did not get picked. That's not gonna change it. So, let's give 4 years 4 teams a try for a little while. Let's after that you want to raise it to 6 and have a couple buys or however you want to do it. That's great. I think, given the fact that the national title game, had this been a BCS year, would have probably been Alabama and Florida State.
Yeah.
Boy, that speaks well of what we got here. So in that respect, yeah, I am pleased with how this has worked.
Kim, what do you think?
Well, I'm clearly pretty happy that the way the selection worked out. Although I'm kind of tired of hearing about the number 2 Oregon Ducks, the way they've been doing that all week. So I will freely admit, although I am a Duck, I did not watch the Ducks all season.
Shame.
I did watch the Rose Bowl. I especially watched the first half.
You saw the important one.
So I watched the first half, and I in no way felt it was a done deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had other responsibilities and had to sort of duck in and out during the second half. Yeah. Sorry. Every time I hear him hear Crappy say "Let's go Bucks," though, I think baseball. So, but I didn't think it was in the bag. I had Baylor, Michigan State in my in the back of my mind the whole time, and I heard the Ducks were accusing Florida State of giving up at one point.
But that's what it looked like, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm not allowed to say that, though, because the director of my kid's school is a Seminole, and
Director of Kim did in no way did Kim to suggest this or support it, but I really after the 3 turnovers, boom boom boom, 3 scores, Florida State was done. It wouldn't have mattered if there was a high school team on the field. Florida State was just not interested in being there and finishing the game. That seemed really clear to me.
Yeah, I've had to tell my son every day this week, do not taunt Mrs. Harper about
no, don't do that.
No, we like her. I will freely admit to watching the GIF of Winston's fumble.
I don't know how.
Maybe a dozen times or so.
I would like to speak with a physics professor just to determine how that's actually possible. I can't. I don't know how that worked out like it did, but
I can tell you, I'm going to be watching the draft. I really want to see what happens in the draft and see what NFL coaches and teams thought about how it all went down and what that does to draft. What happens on draft day?
That's tough. I don't know. He won every game he's played except for one. Off the field stuff is really troubling if I'm a GM, though. So who knows? Who knows how that's going to go?
I hope it's really troubling.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring that up because I saw some posts today floating around out there that he's just a sophomore, right? So he doesn't have to go to the draft. And there was some posting today. I can't remember. Gosh, I wish I could remember who posted it. But about is it Florida State's worst nightmare for Winston to say I'm coming back?
Nah.
It's an interesting question.
Yes.
Sitting with everything that's gone down this year and just kind of the way, especially at the end of the Rose Bowl, they kind of took some flack there about the way that game ended. But Winston wasn't a part of that. Winston, he graciously went across the field
to his credit,
yes. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the whole quitting at the end of the game. Kirk Herbstreit said it live on the air on national television. And he's normally one of the more flatlined, what's the word I'm looking for here, kind of neutral voices, even when he's covering Ohio State, which I give him a lot of credit for. And, he's one of the more well-respected voices. But, he said it on the air.
Yeah.
And I was stunned when he said it. I was like, oh my gosh, did he just say that? But you had to think that. Watching it at home, you're right. They stopped tackling. They stopped playing defense, and the gift to end all gifts or gifs to end all gifs, whatever you want to call it, depending on who you ask how to pronounce it. And then the memes that kind of rolled out of that, it just kind of, we were all expecting, I think, that Florida State was going to lose that game. But I think in the catastrophic manner in which it happened, I don't think anybody could have predicted.
No.
Going into that game, and it gives, the Ducks look really good. And
there's one area where I know the Ducks will lose.
Okay.
It's not style points,
and it's halftime. It's the band. Because Ohio State's band is the best I've ever seen. And I'm a former at least high school marching band type.
Okay.
Ohio State blows me away every time.
Did y'all see the thing that Jim Rome tweeted during the thing about Jim Rome and marching band nerds and who thinks this is cool?
As being a former band geek, I was on the receiving end of a whole bunch of tweets. Yeah, that were using that hashtag, and I will agree that yes, that Ohio State, depending on what kind of band you like. I had this debate with somebody watching the Rose Bowl parade because my better half David was actually at the Rose Bowl. Mm-hmm. So I was at home by myself on New Year's Day, and so I got to watch the Rose Parade, which made me happy. And so I'm talking to people on Twitter and saw that that the Oregon band was outfitted in Nike. No shock there. Right. Marching in the Rose Parade, and everyone was like, "Wow, that looks really unprofessional." And I was like, "Well, but if I'm a band member and I'm marching a 5-mile parade, I want to be in Nike shoes." And as opposed to, I mean, the Rose Parade is no joke. Ask the kids from Ambridge, mm-hmm. right? I mean, they practice how long to do a 5-mile parade is no joke. And I'm willing to bet that they were in much better shape when they got to the Rose Bowl to march their show than the Florida State band was.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
So to each their own. I love Ohio State's band. My former fellow drum major was in the drum line at Ohio State. So
nice.
I have an affinity for the Ohio State band.
So the one tweet I saw about it, I don't know what hashtag were you talking about?
He tweeted something about and it was while halftime during one of the games. I tweeted something about band geeks and who thinks this is cool and blah 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 blah.
Okay.
And immediately just got one hashtag was Rome is burning, one was March on Rome.
March on Rome. Yeah, March on Rome was the one that I saw.
So the one thing I heard on TV, or maybe it was a tweet that I saw about one of the bands played. I think it was a Rose Bowl. Was a Rose Bowl band played a song by Beyonce?
That might be.
And the tweet was, if Ohio State did that, it would be, they basically would have acted out the video.
Yeah.
And probably gotten Beyonce to show up or something like that. I mean, it was like they're playing all the single ladies and.
Nice.
They're just like playing it straight.
Yeah.
And
I think that was
Ohio State would have done so much better with it.
Somehow we've derailed this conversation.
Beyonce formation. Okay.
Football.
Right? Yeah. Football.
Carla, come on! You're losing control of the show here.
I am losing control of the show. This is why you're in charge, not me. Okay. So, I guess I need to kind of move into the upcoming big game, right? While Crappy is coughing. Sorry.
That's right.
So we saw Ohio State surprising to a lot of people. I guess I'll throw in my analysis here that I was not totally stunned that Ohio State won that football game. You look back at the games that Alabama has played on a big stage, and really they have not done all that well. Mm-hmm. They lost their bowl game last year. They lost the Iron Bowl last year, but of course that was a fluke, crazy play, whatever. They did look good in the Iron Bowl this year, but you go all the way back to the neutral field game at the beginning of the year against West Virginia, it showed some flaws. Yep. They've not done exceptionally well in neutral field games over the last couple of seasons. So no, I wasn't shocked that Ohio State won. I was surprised. I was kind of surprised that they held on to win, because you kind of kept waiting for that Nick Saban comeback, which almost happened. It almost happened, but no, it was no, I wasn't totally stunned by it. But it's interesting, seeing the difference between these two teams heading into the national title game, the Mark Helfrich and the Marcus Mariota that don't like the spotlight really at all, pitting them against a Cardale Jones that said, "Why do we go to class? We play football." And the ever affable, lovable, whatever you want to call him, depending on whether you're in the Big Ten or the SEC, Urban Meyer. It's a really interesting juxtaposition between these two teams, not just on the field but off the field. So I guess let's go Kim first on what you're kind of expecting to see on Monday night.
Well, I like what you said about Mariota, because I watched the Heisman presentation, and I thought he did a beautiful job with that. Very well spoken, pretty cool and collected, just the right shred of, he might cry kind of thing. I'm expecting cool and collected as well on Monday night. I'm not sure about the Jerry Dome. I think that could intimidate everybody. That place is just ridiculous as in terms of a stadium. But who will be there? Does the SEC's out? What happens with that? I think in at the Rose Bowl it was a heavily Oregon crowd.
Yes,
definitely.
We definitely had the crowd with them. So, I expect to see Oregon play exactly the way they did in the Rose Bowl, and I don't know how that matches up with Ohio State. I think Mike can probably give a little more insight. I will say I was not at all surprised that Ohio State won, because the last time we did this, Mike, I lost badly and had to wear an Ohio hat for a day, and
yes.
And yes. I could feel it, that you were going to be like, we got to bet again. And
I should find that.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't know where my Oregon hat is.
If I'm looking at this game, one of the things I'm really curious about is what happens with Oregon's front seven, and because it's a different style of defense than Ohio State has seen. They are smaller and quicker, and matching up with that. That could be a tough thing. I'm not sure. One of something that will be a big help is just how the offensive line has improved over the course of the season. Carla and I have talked ad nauseum about the Virginia Tech game, and the O-line was flatly awful in that game, and then you've seen this improvement, especially out in the last.
They've got a lot of time to prepare, though.
Yeah. They do. But it just in terms of a physical style, I'm watching the Rose Bowl and I'm like, those guys are tiny. Oregon's defensive linemen, these are not Big Ten guys, and that's a different thing, and that's going to be a big challenge if Ohio State can establish a running game. And the fact that we've done so against Wisconsin and against Alabama in the last couple games, that tells me we can. That's gotta happen. Trying to come out and throw right away against Oregon might be kind of tough. Again, athleticism, linebackers, and defensive backfield. I love my guys, but that would be a tough matchup. I think we'd need to run the ball to loosen that up a little bit. And then defense, boy, I've talked all season about Ohio State's defensive line, and I will include the linebackers because they have improved almost as much as the defensive line has. Pressure and contain Mariota, pressure and contain Mariota, pressure and contain Mariota, and if you can do that. He's going to get his yards. He's going to score. But if you can slow him down, I thought Ohio State did a pretty decent job of containing Amari Cooper. We're talking about a quarterback and not a wide receiver in this instance. But if we can do that, I like our chances on Monday.
How many phone calls do you think Urban Meyer made to Rich Rod this week? Seriously,
yeah.
That Arizona defense is the only one that has figured out how to stop Mariota all season.
But
you gotta believe
if you watch the Rose Bowl, though, when Mariota didn't do well initially, one of the commentators said the FSU's been watching the Arizona game because that's how they contain Mariota, and they're doing exactly that. I mean, they just couldn't sustain it.
No. And then, turnovers in 3 straight possessions.
They beat themselves.
We'll do that too. But Oregon still has to take advantage of this, and they did.
Right. Quickly.
Yeah. That was my favorite thing post New Year's Day was the snippet of Urban from the post-game interview when someone told him that Oregon had won by 40. And I assume you guys saw that because it was
spectacular.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you brought that up because I was going to bring that up as my second favorite thing that happened on.
It's definitely an eye opener, but But yeah, it's Urban the Showman there a little bit. I assume he did not know the score, but
you say he's the showman there, but you know what? Part of that I think was just the brutal honesty of it. I think is what made it so funny.
Yeah.
That I mean, everybody expected
the reaction
to
was
win that game.
Yes. The
but
reaction was
not
priceless.
by 40.
Yeah.
And that was an honest moment. One of the very few ones that you see out of Urban. Because he is so incredibly calculated and has been throughout his entire career.
Yeah.
He's a robot.
Yeah. He's incredibly calculated, in every single media appearance. And so to catch that raw emotion like that was brilliant.
So much better than if it had been Saban in the same situation.
Or Sweater Vesty guy.
Or Sweater Vesty guy, yeah.
Very true.
But I can't hear Saban without hearing John Cave Osborne saying, "Saban, you son of a bitch," from all of his all vol y'all videos.
Yes. Are we to the point where we need to do predictions?
Oh, probably. We've probably been talking. If anybody's still watching, hi.
I think we should.
I would. My plane will be late, and I'll miss the game.
Okay. Do you have a prediction as to who might win?
I think Mariota's got it. I don't think it'll be easy. I don't think they'll win by 40.
Okay.
I'll be happy if they win by 10. I know they're 6-point favorites, but I still think 10 is a nice round number. So.
10. Okay.
10.
I would expect to be sweating at the end of the game, sort of like I was at the end of the Sugar Bowl, and I expect the outcome to be the same, because I think Ohio State's defense has come far enough along that they can at least slow down the Ducks if we're able to take advantage of whatever mistakes come our way, and they will, and as you saw during the Sugar Bowl, we do. I think that's a game Ohio State's going to win. Carla, we need a tiebreaker.
You need a tiebreaker. I think it's going to be a one-possession game. I think it's going to be a much closer game than I think the line is probably spot on with the point differential there, that I think it's going to be probably a single-score game. I think the matchup here that is even more important than the Ohio State defense and the Oregon offense is the reverse of that. How does the Oregon defense handle the Ohio State offense, and can they rattle Cardale Jones, which nobody has been able to do yet? But that defense is quick strike. Ask Florida State. 5 turnovers in, 4.5 minutes of game time or something like that. If Oregon's defense can play to the level that they played against Florida State in the Rose Bowl, Cardale Jones is going to be looking uphill a lot of the night, and we haven't seen that a lot out of him, sitting in the road to come back for a long period of time. They trailed against Alabama, but they got back into that game very quickly. They haven't been down with Cardale under center for a long period of time. If that happens, I think Oregon will pull out to a lead. Ohio State will come back to make it interesting, and you'll have that sweating moment of the final drive that could potentially win the game. But I do think I'm going to lean Oregon in this one. I think the speed on defense, the speed on offense, the hurry up, and just the offensive scheme there is not anything that Ohio State has seen. And another Big Ten against Oregon was Michigan State. They hung in through the third quarter and then lost it in the fourth. And I really kind of see a repeat of the same thing here, that it's going to be a great game. But I think Oregon is going to be the national champion.
At least we know Cardale will be rested, because he won't be bothering himself with any of those class type things this week.
Oh,
that's true.
He was 19 years old. Come on. If there was a public record of the shit that I said when I was 19 years old out there, I would go live in a hole.
Actually, if there was a public record of the classes I skipped when I was 19 years old, I'd be in the deepest of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I am an academic professional. I never skipped a class.
No. Oh, Carla, come on.
I love my job.
Listen, guys.
I didn't skip my Oregon classes.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, there you go.
Even though I had to drive 250 miles each way to get to them.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Guys, we have picks for our national championship game. We have a few days before that game plays out, and we have our final Carla and Crappy Show game show of the season. Kim, thank you very much for joining us. This is
thanks for letting me horn in on all your fun. I'm surprised there isn't a bet, Crappy. Is there a bet?
What do you want? Name it. Go.
Name it.
The growler of your choice, I think we did last time, right?
I believe so.
Okay. I think we should have a growler, or as we say in Pittsburgh, a growler on this.
Yeah, got a growler on that.
I want in on this. Wait a second.
Hey, I told you I would bring you whatever you want on Thursday from Pittsburgh. You haven't.
Yeah, but you can't bring beer on a plane. It doesn't work that way.
I brought an
You can bring a bottle.
No. I brought an entire case of growlers as checked baggage when I went to Maine last summer.
I'm going to let you two work this out. It's interesting to know that it's possible.
I didn't know that was possible.
Check them. And you have to have a really funny TSA guy who thinks it's a scream that you're bringing a case of full growlers to Maine from Pittsburgh.
That's awesome.
All East End Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of one of each.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, man. That'd be okay. That'd be a good way to travel.
Yes.
So, Kim, thank you. Carla.
Thank you.
It has been an excellent show once again. Excellent season once again.
It has been an excellent season. Can you believe we're getting ready for season 4?
Getting ready for season 4. Here in a couple weeks.
And really. And show 40. We have show 40 to celebrate next year. I think we start on show 40.
Do we?
I think so. I'll have to go back and count again, but it's either 39 or 40. So, yep.
I'll get an Ohio State jersey made up with the 40 on it.
We need a celebration of some sort for that.
We can do that. Do a live show at Kim's house.
Okay.
That would be great.
College game day signs?
Oh, God.
Oh, we could do game day. That would be so fun.
Oh, man. Okay, listen, guys. That's a wrap for the 2014 season. We hope you've had a good time, as good a time as we have. We hope you enjoy the national championship game, and we will see you back here next fall, right?
Thanks.
Kim, Carla, thank you once again, and you guys, we will see you again soon.
Bye. Thanks.